Okay, our dear learners, from the time we broke after the outbreak of this epidemic, we had introduced ourselves to our second topic, which is light energy. But when we had the discussion, we did not balance in all the streams, so I felt like we should have all the learners get acquainted with some knowledge of light before we move to the next thing. By the time we left, we had discussed something little about light. We had discussed about matter and energy as being our theme. But under matter and energy, I remember telling you we had already handled matter in primary 5 and energy also in primary 5. And within the introduction of electricity and magnetism, Mr. Cheng had explained to you all what's related about matter and energy. So I wanted us to go direct to what we are supposed to get in this class, which is light energy. When we are looking at light energy, one we must know is a form of energy. It's a form of energy. Why is it called a form of energy? Because light energy is capable of making us do work. It enables us see things clearly. So if we were to look at our topic, light energy, you will find that in our description, light energy can be described as a form of energy that enables us to see things clearly. Light energy is a form of energy that enables us to see things clearly. Light energy is a form of energy that enables us to see things or objects clearly. It does not matter at what time you want to see. As long as light energy is available, you can see at night, you can see during the time. We can also say light energy is a form of energy that is capable of helping us do work. A form of energy that is capable of helping or enabling us do work. So we can also have our second definition as light energy is a form of energy because light energy is a form of energy, okay, because it's capable of helping us do work. A form of energy, it's a form of energy because it's capable of helping us do work. So you'll find when we are looking at the light energy, now this comes to your mind that light cannot come without a source. Light cannot come without a source. So you'll find that we have sources of light energy. The sources of light energy are materials, objects, or substances that are capable of producing energy whenever it's needed. So when we look at this, you'll find that we have sources. We have sources of light energy. Sources of light energy. These sources of light energy are very many. The sources of light energy are very many, and they always surround us. So when we are looking at these sources, we have those ones that are made by man to produce light, and there are those ones that produce light naturally. That means they produce light on their own. So when we look at them, we shall first of all list all the sources of energy, then later we group them. We have things like the sun. Why we take sun the first? Because it's the main source of light on earth. Without the sun, we can't experience enough light. So light is the main source of, the sun is the main source of light on earth. We also have fire. We have fire. We have things like torches. Have things like torches. And the torches nowadays are of a variety. We have torches that use solar energy and torches that use electricity. And there are those ones that use batteries. So we have so many different examples of torches. We also have things like burning candles. Burning candles. Burning candles. We have lighting bulbs. Lighting bulbs. Lighting bulbs. We also have car or bicycle. Also have motorcycles. Cycles. Headlamps. We have the stars. There are things like lightning. Lightning is also a source of light energy. They are of a variety. We have fireflies. Then within there we can have glowworms. All of those are examples of sources of light. I believe we shall summarize them when we look at the groups. Now, when we look at them, we find that I have some few sources here, but there are very many outside there. I have this is a torch. But at the beginning, I said the torches are of different groups. This one now does not use a battery, or does not use the dry cells we normally buy from shops. So you'll find this one has its inbuilt battery, which requires a charging. So this one is called electric torch. But we also have torches that use batteries. We have torches that use solars. So this one is a torch. So torches are sources. Why do we call them a source? Because it's able to produce light energy. So the moment an object gives you light, that one we call it a source of light. We also have things like a matchbox. A matchbox contains matchsticks. Now it's a lighting matchstick that produces light when it's rubbed or when you squeeze it on the surface of a matchbox. So this is a matchstick. When you want light, that means a matchstick must strike a matchbox. So So you'll find that light is seen. So a lighting matchstick is a source of light energy. But a matchstick alone is not a source. But when it's lighting, we consider it to be a source of light energy. We have things like candles. We talked of candles. So a burning candle becomes a source of light energy. Why? Because it's capable of producing light. So this one, we have what we call oily lamps. We have oily lamps. So oily lamps also produce light energy, and ordinarily we use them in our homes, like these ones that use glasses. Those ones that have glasses, we call them the lantern lamps. So the lantern lamps are part of sources of light energy. We also have what we call these kerosene lamps, very small, but still are oily lamps. So you'll find that this is a candle. Then there are those metallic candles. So we have oily lamps. We also have these pressure lamps. The pressure lamps are also sources of light energy. So these are the few that I was able to gather for you. But we have so many sources of light energy. Have so many sources of light energy. So let us move down and look at the types. We have these sources groups according to their types. These sources are grouped according to their types. So we have types, or we can say groups of sources of light energy. So we have groups. We can also call them types. We can also call them categories. These groups, as I mentioned in the beginning, that we have those ones that produce light on their own. And we have those ones that are made by man to produce light. So we are going to sort them from that group as we keep adding the ones who have not mentioned. There are very many. Those are few examples I've given as sources of light energy. So let us group them now. Let us put them into groups. Let us put them into groups. So these groups are two. They are basically two groups. They are basically two groups of sources of light energy. We have natural sources of light energy and artificial sources of light energy. So we have natural sources of light energy. Then we have artificial sources of light energy. So basically those are two types, or those are two groups or categories. Now when we look at these categories, we find that every category there has its own examples. Let us straight away start with the natural sources of light energy. Natural sources of light energy. I remember saying these sources of natural energy, they are those ones that are man-made. The man-made sources are called natural. Why are they called natural? Because they are able to produce sound on their own. So natural sources of light are those objects or those materials that are able to produce light on their own. So we can say are objects that produce light energy on their own. So all objects that are able to produce light on their own are called the natural sources of light. Let us look at some examples of natural sources of light. Examples of natural sources. Examples of natural sources. Examples of natural sources. I told you those examples, we are going to pick them from our examples that we gave first as sources. We said, number one, if we are to check through our list, which are those objects that are able to produce light on their own without man's influence? One, we have the sun. We have the sun. And I remember telling you the sun is the main source of light energy on Earth. A question can be posed, why is the sun a natural source of light? This one is capable of producing light energy on its own. We have the stars. 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 We also have things like erupting volcanoes, erupting volcanoes. So erupting volcanoes are also one of the examples of natural sources of light. Children, we also have fireflies. There are also things like glowworms. Glowworms are also natural sources of light energy. And finally, we always see during raining, we always see a flash of light coming from heaven, and that one is called the lightning. So these few examples are natural sources of light energy. Now, when you look at these natural sources of light energy, you will find that some of them have life, and there are those ones without life. So we have living sources of we have living natural sources of light, and we have non-living natural sources of light. So when we talk of a living natural source of light, you'll be able to see there are only two here. We have two which are insects. We have fireflies and we have glowworms. Glowworms are living. So you'll find if you are asked to write one living natural source of light energy, I expect a child to write glowworms and fireflies. Those are the only two living natural sources of light energy. The rest are non-living. But when you check again here, a glowworm is not friendly to farmers. Why? Because it at times tends to destroy farmers' crops. So you'll find a glowworm is a crop pest. A glowworm is a crop pest. So within the natural sources of light energy, a glowworm becomes again a very bad one because it destroys farmers' crops. So a glowworm is a crop pest. Then when we go down there, you'll find that these two, lightning and erupting volcanoes, are not friendly to the environment. Why? Because they cause degradation. They cause environmental degradation. So you can also be asked to identify or name or write any two natural sources of light that cause environmental degradation or that natural catastrophes of environment. So you'll find that lightning and erupting volcanoes become the natural sources of light energy that are catastrophes of environment. Children, let us look at artificial sources of light. Artificial sources of light energy. Artificial sources of light energy. We said artificial sources of light energy are those objects made by man to produce light. Objects made by man, materials made by man to produce light. So in our description, we just say objects made by man, to produce light energy. Objects made by man to produce light energy. We call them artificial sources. Now, in our homes, we have a variety of those sources that our parents buy in order to provide us with the light. So those materials bought from either market by daddy or mommy to provide the light at home are the ones we call artificial sources of light. And artificial sources of light are very many, basing on what happens, or basing on the ability of daddy at home. You'll find in one house there can be 5 artificial sources of light. So let us identify them very fast from the list we wrote first. Examples of artificial sources of light energy. Examples of artificial sources of light energy. These examples, I told you there are very many. So children at the home right now, I believe you are seated with them. We have one lighting here. That one is called the burning a candle. Burning a candle. Or burning wax candle. But all candles, as long as they are burning and they are able to produce light, they call them artificial sources. I told you of a metallic candle. There are those metallic candles people make out of metallic scrap by Mr. Blacksmith. So you'll find those candles that are very small at home that use a wick. That we use a wick. A wick is that thread put inside that metallic candle in order to allow the flow of paraffin, so that when you happen to light that candle, it burns. So we also have torches. Torches are of a variety. We have electric torch. And see here, electric torch. These ones, they charge. These ones are chargeable. They have batteries that are rechargeable. Once the power is off, you take it to the socket, connect the socket. These are charging terminals. You connect these terminals to the socket, and you are able to see a red part becoming completely red or green to show you that the battery is full. We also have lighting matchsticks. Lighting matchsticks. This one, I believe they are used, matchsticks. They are used every day. There is no home that does not prepare food, apart from those homes that use electricity. We have solar lamps. We have solar lamps. Solar lamps. Solar lamps. Solar lamps are one of artificial sources. One of artificial sources. There are also electric lamps. Electric lamps. Electric lamps. Electric lamps. Don't ignore fire. Fire is artificial source. Fire is a artificial source. And we can finally have car, bicycle, or motorcycle headlamps. 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 Those are artificial, but very many are there. Those are some few that we can involve. So if you are asked why these ones are called artificial sources of light, a child should be able to say they are made by man to produce or to provide light. Any artificial source is being made by man. Natural source produce light on their own. Now briefly, time over, let us look at uses of light. Uses of light energy. Uses of light energy. Uses of light energy. Light energy has a variety of uses. Light energy has a variety of uses, but commonly, and the major one is for seeing. You cannot see without light. Light must be there in order for someone to view objects clearly. So, one, light energy helps. Light energy helps us to see objects clearly. Light energy helps us to see objects clearly. Plants also use light energy for making food, and that process called photosynthesis. So one, light, let us just say it helps. It helps us to see objects clearly. It does not matter at what time, as long as it's there, even darkness, you'll be able to see. Then we can also say it helps plants. It helps plants to make food. To make food. To make food. Then the other one, we can say it helps us to make vitamin D with the help of the skin. With the help of the skin. So you'll find when the skin makes vitamin D, the body is able to fight a disease called rickets. So you'll find it's very healthy. Now during photosynthesis, you'll find that all of plants make food, and that food is stored in the form of chemical energy. So during photosynthesis, plants make food and store in the form of chemical energy. Form of chemical energy. So when that food is stored in the form of chemical energy, you'll find the energy change that will be there if firewood is burnt. If firewood is burnt, heat is produced and light is produced. So that means during burning of firewood, charcoal, any product from a plant, chemical energy is converted into heat first, then light energy. So you can say materials such as firewood, charcoal, wood shavings, wood shavings, all store chemical energy, chemical energy. So now when this when the firewood is burnt, chemical energy changes to heat, to light energy. Energy change. Chemical energy changes to heat, to light energy. That's the energy change we get when we burn these materials. But even when you eat food, chemical energy changes to heat energy in our bodies. Now with that, children, I would like us to have a simple exercise. Now everybody outside there, ensure that get your book and draw all the relevant sources of light energy. So activity. Name and draw. Name and draw 10 sources of light energy. Name and draw 10 sources of light energy. It does not matter, you can put them in a table form. You can say either burning candle, the sun. But what's very important, we need 10 of them. A burning candle can simply be drawn in this form. What you see spread there shows that a candle is burning. With that, children, I encourage you to live safe. The key word is whenever you are doing any activity, ensure that wash your hands. If sanitizers are not there, and keep yourself a distance from social gathering. I wish everybody a lovely day. Thank you very much.